CNN's Crossfire, famed political consultant, the raging Cajun, Mr. James Cargo. Thank you, Dean Bridget. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, sir. Topic number 1. What is your position on the role of government in supporting innovation in the field of biotechnology?
Well, Dean, I'm glad that you asked that question.
I'd like to jump in and take that one, Jimmy, if you don't mind.
Have at it, Hoss.
Recent research has shown that empirical evidence for globalization of corporate innovation is very limited, and as a corollary, the market for technologies is shrinking. As a world leader, it's important for America to provide systematic research grants for our scientists. I believe strongly that there will always be a need for us to have a well-articulated innovation policy with emphasis on human resource development. Thank you.
I blacked out. Well, that was interesting. Thank you very much. And your rebuttal, Mr. Carville.
We have no response. That was perfect.
All right, well, welcome to Crossfire. Hopefully we will have some more relevant topics to discuss other than what we saw in the film clip. We've got Steve Richter, Jenny Fredericks, and we've got Steve Kilberg on the media breakaway side, although I'm not sure that they're all going to be on the same position. We've also got Jeremy Shoemaker, who's the president and CEO of ShoeMoney Media. All right, let's start. Is the ringtone market finally saturated? Is it even being close to being saturated? Jeremy, you want to start?
I think that the last panel was pretty relevant on that. I think that internationally, it's just, we're just on the verge of seeing, really go that way. But as far as in the U.S., I think it's making a transition to where as far as search goes, good luck in the U.S. because it's extremely saturated, and just either people are already signed up for offers, or there's so much fraud, especially with search. People are getting $5 gift cards and then going crazy and jacking up your bids, and so I think it's almost a lost cause in the U.S. to do search. Now organic is a different story, but like I said, it also opens up another opportunity. So you can also now maybe not send it to ringtone offers, but maybe create more towards a mobile community with ringtones as kind of the lure, and then to have, because now there's a lot more mobile offers. So.
What do you mean mobile offers?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of offers that cater to mobile users. So like whether it's like a crush offer or like a dating offer, or there's a lot of like mobile dating, mobile bidding on auctions, things like that. So those you can kind of get people in with the ringtone stuff, but then market to them different affiliate things that aren't ringtones.
Well, 2 years ago, I remember hearing that there's 6 months left in the ringtone market. And then a year and a half ago, hearing there's 6 months left in the ringtone market. And I won't go on and on, but I keep hearing from people outside of the industry, like bankers who are looking at your financial statements, and people who are looking at acquiring you, or you're looking at acquiring someone, is that there's no, this is it's a 6 month market. It's just a 6 month market every 6 months. So it's proving, I think its life here domestically has proven to surprise people that it continues to go on. And I'd say one of the factors that will weigh in about this market being saturated is the number of players in it is consolidating. You're not, 2 years ago, a year ago, there were so many more players, and now it's consolidating like many other things into just, the top 5. And compliance obviously is a big issue in here. Do you get to keep what you make by the time you've finished with all the attorneys general and the FTC? And then internationally, I know Jeremy and I are in agreement that it's a wide open market. Those people out there are just, they're waiting to hear about it, and it's an opportunity that needs to get tapped as soon as possible before others figure it out. So I think there we are. Steve, you have a comment?
I was reading a couple weeks ago that Forrester said the ringtone market in the U.S. isn't going to flatten until 2009. So I think we've started to see that. But then, as Jeremy points out, there's going to open up other opportunities. One of the things that I've always thought about is, what about other continuity products that are going to start to be built to cell phones? Like in Asia right now, you can buy physical products like Coke, things like that from vending machines. What about services like maybe gym memberships and things of that nature? That's where I think things might go.
Yeah, there's also, I've seen companies come out with coupons that are actually being sent to your mobile phone and that can be scanned in with the infrared and things like that. But as far as ringtones goes, also you're now seeing an open platform with Google's new Android platform that's coming out, with the Palm Trios and stuff. You can write applications to assign ringtones, and with the BlackBerry as well. You are no longer locked into Sprint and all these companies and their encoding, and you have to buy the encryption keys and everything to go back and forth. So you're not, it's an open platform, and so they're not really going to be able to hold back. So I think that, as more and more people can just open up their own ringtone site if they want, or I think it just creates almost a new, that's what I was trying to get to, is like a new, I'm sure, I could create a ringtone site and have, my own affiliates and stuff like that, and get my own licensing and everything like that, just because of it's such an open platform, or going that way anyway.
I think we'll have an opportunity to talk more about mobile in general. Let's move on from the ringtone. Do you foresee a slowdown in email marketing in the near future? Jenny, this sounds like this has your name on it.
I don't think so. I think that email addresses are here to stay. That as long as people have email addresses, there's going to be email marketing. That people are still going to buy things from email. I know I'm in this industry and I still get an email and I'm like, oh, I saw that, I wanted to get it, and I still buy things from email. I know Delta just announced this week that they're now going to have internet access during the flights, so people can check their emails. iPhones, all of these BlackBerries, all of us, I'd say majority of us get our email on us 24/7. I know I check it, all day long. When I go to bed, it's on me. I've seen probably 20 people check it during this conference, that we are so email centric. And while we are pretty, internet savvy, there are tons of people who still buy things via email, and I think that's going to last.
What about the filters?
One thing I do think that will increase is authentication. Is that as phishing is becoming, more and more of an issue with banks, because anyone can send an email that says this is from Bank of America, and then can grab a subdomain. Say they had bank.com, it could do bankofamerica.bank.com, and like you said, grandmothers are not gonna, realize that. And I think that authentication might increase, with trusted source, where there's like a blue ribbon. So when you receive an email, it says this is actually from this person. So I can see that increasing because of the phishing attacks via email.
Yeah, I think that you're seeing a lot of your search marketers come in and realize the value of email marketing, whereas before it was just the opposite. The email marketers were moving more into search. And so, for me, I was very ignorant about email marketing and the power of it until probably within the last year, and just started focusing. And a lot of people that that I network with and stuff like that are pretty much in the same boat, and they're just now learning the power of email marketing the proper way, and stuff like that. But I think that you're seeing a new revolution in email marketing, and I think maybe a better debate topic is do we need a lot more regulation, or do we have enough, and it just needs to be enforced what we have.
I'm happy to talk about that. All right, let's jump back to mobile. Is mobile the future of affiliate marketing? What do you think? Steve Kilberg, want to start?
No one's figured it out yet. I guess it goes back to how you define marketing, or mobile marketing, if you will. Is it because people are getting iPhones and we're going to be able to convert that way, or is it what we said today about websites? Yeah. So it really depends on how you define it. But I do think the answer is yes to that, because we're going to more device-centric areas, and I'm going to, I have my iPhone, I carry it with me all the time. So I think that is the future.
But okay, so one thing though, like getting a short code, I think right now for affiliate marketing, you can get a website, you can email, you can do search. The barrier to entry to that is so much easier versus if I have to go get a short code, I have to work with an aggregator and the carriers. That there's a lot. It's a little bit more complex to do affiliate marketing through a WAP page. For me to say, hey, to send out to someone's, I have a database of cell phone numbers. And I still think people are less likely to give up their cell phone number. Most people have multiple email addresses. So when they go to a site, they can enter in any one of their 10 different email addresses. I think people are a little more hesitant to enter in their cell phone numbers. So to have a database of cell phone numbers that you can now market to, hey, here's your free $50 gift card, and then drive them to a WAP page. I think that's going to be, it's a little more complex and we're not quite there where it's getting ready to take off.
Yeah, I almost disagree with that. I think that people actually are more willing to give out their cell phone number. I mean, just in the split test that we've done where we've experimented with forms and things like that, we've almost found that they're more willing to give up that, obviously, than their home number, because people kind of think that it's disposable, but it's really not. It's something that goes with them forever. So we found that people are even, as likely to give up that as their email address. So I think that as far as the future of affiliate marketing goes, though, I think it definitely is. I mean, we're starting to see more conversions with a mobile browser than, obviously it's going up. More people have, the iPhone is kind of like what people are looking at, and I think it's really shown us the future. I think once the Google Android platform comes out, it'll really show us the future, because that will be available and completely open source and everything like that. But and also Sprint's coming out with their Instinct, which is basically an exact iPhone clone. And so I think that it's definitely shown us the future, and especially the browsing part. I don't think that the WAP stuff will be as important as it once was, because pretty much they render full pages anymore. So it's just, you will want to limit it a little bit. But a lot of people have faster connections on their phone than they do at home now. And a lot of people just are doing more internet browsing on their phone than at home as well. So.
All right, Mr. Richter, I think this one's for you. Do we need a professional organization that specifically represents the affiliate marketing industry?
Well, I've been preaching this since 2000, and I can't think of another industry on the planet that has as much dollars that goes through it that does not have a professional or unprofessional trade association representing it. The entire industry, in my opinion, is getting picked off one by states' attorneys general, FTC, and and now we have individuals, the lawyers with their class action lawsuits, and we have no one voice. We don't have we have different entities out there, such as the MMA, the Mobile Marketing Association, the DMA, the Direct Marketing Association, but they don't represent us. They represent their little groups. Sometimes they represent a unique group within their group, but they don't represent what we do. And the longer it takes us to get a voice for our affiliate marketing industry, we're all paying the price. And so, I couldn't see this happen sooner.
There's been several people that have tried, and there was a gentleman, I think it's Wayne Porter, who tried the affiliate union kind of a deal like that, and just nobody did it. And I don't know if it's just such an individual cowboy way to make money online that people just won't unite. I would like to think that's not the case, but then I know there was a recent new drive that, but then it turned out that it was actually being funded by a commercial affiliate thing, and you kind of see that time and time again. I think that there's definitely, I agree, I've never seen anything, even, like tobacco lobbies and all these, we definitely need to lobby Congress and stuff for regulation and fighting some of the other stuff that's out there, but yeah, no doubt I agree with you. I just don't know that it'll ever happen, and I don't know if it's because it's never been approached the right way, or if it's just because, how many people out here would actually participate actively in something like that? This is a small percentage of the crowd, though.
Yeah, but I think it's something, during the 2 days of the conference, I'd like to talk to anybody who's interested in this. I think Jeremy would too, but we all are, is, again, I will tell you that legislators and regulators cannot believe that we don't have a trade association because we're easy pickings for them. There's no, when you have somebody like the Florida Attorney General who's blatantly, just saying we're starting an investigation, we want $1 million. And one by one, you have people paying them. Why would they stop? And I hear, one of the questions we had earlier, is this going to get down to the affiliate level? And my answer is, why not? I mean, it's just a matter of time, is once they've collected everything from the top tiers, from the advertisers, from the affiliate networks, what's left but the affiliates, and the courts, the FTC are all saying you're part of the food chain, and I believe the regulators are going to figure that out as they come down and say, we want more money. You heard Colorado's AG say they have no money to enforce their Colorado Spam Reduction Act. Well, guess what? There's an easy way to get that money to get more attorneys and investigators, and that's go sue somebody and get a couple $1 million. You've just funded your new staff.
Yeah, I think like kind of almost like a forum community is what it would. I mean, just for people to help each other, but then also lobby together when issues do have to be dealt with, whether it's with certain companies or somebody, almost like a union mentality between there. I would love to see the equivalent of what the search industry created with Sempo, because it's definitely a powerhouse in the search space.
One last thing is, Lisa Picarli, I think her name is, the publisher or the editor of Revenue Magazine. I contacted her recently about this, and she told me that she had already started meeting with people about trying to set up some association, but it sounds like it's semi-underground. So I'm hoping sooner or later it's going to get above ground, and we'll hear more about it. So.
Thanks. Google is getting more and more involved in the CPA marketing industry. Will they become the 800-pound gorilla of CPA marketing?
Take a quick stab at that. Obviously with their purchase of Performance recently, they're involved in this because they rebranded it Google Affiliate Network. So they're going to become more of a competitor for all of us. But I still think there's so much opportunity out there that they're not going to become a dominant player. They need to have the competition, and you guys know better as well. Affiliates want choices. They want to be able to work with different networks that they have relationships with. So I don't think they'll become the 800-pound gorilla, but they're here to stay and they're not going away.
This statement might sound pretty dumb, but Google, I don't know that they're actually, with the Performance and getting involved in the affiliate, I don't know that they're actually looking to turn a profit with that. And it's kind of like when they got involved with radio advertising and print magazine, it was more just to bring in people into the Google system. And that actually, they lost their butt on but they brought all this traditional money in. And I think that's what they're trying to do more than anything, is bring people into the Google system. They've just with the things they've done, like with the Firefox browser, paying $1 per download and all this. They failed miserably at it and keeping track of it and all that stuff. I think that if they really, really set their eyes on it, they would, like everything else, be willing to lose money for years just to kill every player in the space. But I don't think they're going to do that in this particular way.
But do you think that they overstep their boundaries sometimes? Like, I know that we've experienced with our affiliates where, we had a mobile campaign and, we followed the MMA guidelines, the AG, the FTC. We were as compliant as you could be. Then they came in and said, entering someone's first name is personal identifiable information. You have to have them agree to the terms and conditions. That I feel like sometimes they're just trying to, run everything, and that they overstep their boundaries. We have all of these guidelines we already adhere to, and then they just come in and are like, almost like the big brother of, nope, you're doing it our way or the highway. Yeah,
I think they overstep their bounds all over the place, whether it's disclosure or, they have their own policies and, or just even kind of disregard the FTCs most of the time in those regards. But yeah, definitely, as far as what you're talking about, I think it's a good point.
Yeah, the other thing that's also interesting is, as we all know, Google comes off and kind of quietly says they don't like affiliates, but yet they're getting involved in this space. So that's the thing that's just pretty hypocritical, and I do find pretty funny.
Well, Jeremy, I'm interested to hear your opinion on search then, because you probably have a different opinion. The next question is, will Google continue to dominate the search industry?
Boy, I think as long as they keep evolving, which they have for the last, since they started. They consistently evolved. now are implementing more social voting, into the algorithm, using the toolbar data to really let them know what the user experience is like. And I think as long as they keep evolving and don't just settle for what they have, I think they will continue to dominate.
I agree for the short run they're going to dominate, but I think that like Microsoft and those before them that said we're the 800-pound gorilla and now it's our market and we're it, and all of a sudden somebody comes up from behind and smacks you in the back of the head. And I feel that Google's losing some key people to competitive search engines. This new one, Cooley, which is their former, some of their former very, very top people, has started a new search engine, which I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it yet, but it's getting more and more relevant every day. I think it was launched a little bit prematurely, but if you go on it, you should try it and see what they're doing. And I think there's a lot of people now who are rooting against Google, to have someone give them a run for their money. It's not going to be Yahoo, and it doesn't look like it's going to be MSN, but I know one thing. It's the famous Bill Gates, said, if I throw enough money at anything, I'll figure it out. And there's players out there who are watching Google every day. Cash coffers keep building up. Someone's going to come along and try to take some of that away from them.
I agree with the Microsoft thing in some respects, but I think that Microsoft, as far as an operating system, they still have a dramatic market share. Even with Vista and its failed reviews, they just posted the numbers of sales. It was just alarming. But with Google, if you realize where most of their search traffic comes from, they signed a $500 million deal a year with Firefox to be the default search engine. That is, that's like 48, well, I don't know the exact numbers. I can tell you on our sites we're seeing about 48% of Firefox users. Now I know it varies from thing to thing, but just from our internal stats. Then you look at the deal they signed with Apple to become the default search engine for Apple. And then you look at the AOL deal, the default search with Time Warner. Somebody is going to have to do this land grab, and it's going to take a huge amount of money to buy the traffic that they're buying. So
it also raises some antitrust, issues. So, like I said, I'm not saying they're going away, but I have a feeling that you just can't ignore someone making all that money.
All right, let's transition to social networking. Will social networking continue to grow in the years ahead, and will any of the big players figure out how to monetize their traffic? Steve Kilberg.
Take a quick stab at that. So obviously they're still growing fast, but we're seeing a lot of changes because they haven't been able to show that they can make money. I just read yesterday in Business Week that 3 or 4 months ago when Microsoft bought a significant stake in Facebook, they valued it at $15 billion. Well, now some people, including Zuckerberg, are trying to cash out on some of that stock privately, and they're valuing it at $3 billion. So they've already lost valuation in the last 6 months. So they better figure out a way to monetize that traffic, because then they're going to start to really, it's just going to change.
I truly believe with Facebook specifically, they can just flip the switch. Facebook ads has been, I think we could all agree, it's probably a failure money-wise, and it's annoying at the same time. But if with the Beacon project that was very highly controversial, I have friends that work on that project in Facebook, and they're going to relaunch it, and that was a huge moneymaker for them. And they're working with major, everyone from Walmart to Ice.com to every major, to even Amazon, to where, and for those that don't know, Beacon basically just, if you buy something and it says that you bought it to all your friends. There was some privacy issues raised, but I think it was it you I was talking to about FTC issues with that? And I'm sure you can jump in with that, but that was an enormous moneymaker for them, and really I think that just going over, if you look at Dig, from a social perspective, they couldn't even get 200 million for all that traffic that they have. Really? I know people that have gotten their eBay affiliate ID promoted to the front page on a story and made a lot of money. And I just can't believe they cannot find a way to monetize that site in other ways than just ads. Whether it's building a community and then monetizing that community in some way, whether it's paid membership or something like that. I gotta think that side is a gold mine, but maybe not. Maybe that traffic is just junk at the end of the day. It could be. I do think there's a much higher value to Facebook and even MySpace traffic. as you saw with, I think, the Google deal when they bought $1 billion worth of advertising on MySpace.
Yeah, the other thing I was pointing out is that even Google has admitted that that was a bad deal for them.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah, and I think by, putting the MySpace layouts, sites, pretty much banning all of them for running Google AdSense, I think that's a show of the quality of traffic you get. So that's a good point.
Okay, I think this is our last question. There are more affiliate networks than ever before. Is this a positive or a negative for the industry? Who wants to take this one? Steve Richter?
Well, it's a positive for us.
How so?
Yeah, how so? We make more money. But professionally speaking, this is back to any industry. As it gets mature, there's consolidation that happens, and I think what we're seeing is there's more professionalism in this now. It's the wild, wild west days are not so much anymore. They're still around, but there's less of them. And I think as we get more, there's so much money again in this industry that we get the attention of regulators and authorities and class action lawyers that we've got to get our act together. And in order to be in this industry, I'm sick of this word, but you have to be compliant. It's what it is, and there's no doubt about it. And there's many of the networks that don't have the resources, don't want to put the resources in, or aren't just following it, and they're going to disappear. This isn't even a doubt in my mind, and it's not one of those if it's going to happen, it's just when it's going to happen. So you're either going to step up to the plate and make it happen, or you're going to disappear. And there'll always be, as I always say, Walmart was always the monster that was going to put every mom and pop business out, and they had its effect, but there's a slow rise up now of more mom and pop businesses. They're just more of the mom and pop businesses are in the house as opposed to being on the street. And I think this industry will see smaller networks, boutique networks that will market, specifically to some areas, and maybe have to join up in groups to have somebody watch their compliance. But again, I think it's a good thing. I think it helps us just organize and do things much better than we've done them in the past, and have a better product for the marketplace.
When you look at a lot of the big affiliate networks, a lot of them started because the people who founded them had such a experience with affiliate marketing, were huge affiliates themselves, and that was, if you look at the top ones now, pretty much all of them were founded that way because they were basically leveraging their relationship with this company and having sub-IDs, and then eventually said, you know what, why don't we just start our own affiliate company? And I think now it's not like that. Now you've got VCs just investing, going, oh, we need an affiliate company because it's a big space. And as Steve brought up, now they don't have the experience with compliance, or most of these guys had years of experience, marketing, knowing what would work, what would raise flags, what wouldn't, and these guys have to start completely from scratch. Most of the ones I've talked to that are just jumping into space, they're just completely oblivious, and most of them are just set. The offers are so watered down because they're going through a person to finally get to the agency of record, who has the exclusive offer for it. And I think it's bad for the industry. For somebody whose first experience is running through one of these third, fourth tier networks, which is just running offers through offers, and then they don't get paid, or there's a compliance issue that was never brought up, and their site was approved for everything, but the person just was completely inexperienced. So I think that the major flaw in I think that it's bad, to be honest, but it'll sort itself out.
Yeah, I do think it's a negative because, like we've mentioned, there isn't an organization that is, mandating how affiliate networks have to be set up, that anyone can do this, and like you said, get an offer from someone. And if you're a new affiliate, coming into this industry, what's the difference between, a lot of the networks? If you go to their website, I think most affiliate networks say exclusive offers, highest payouts, highest converting offers, and then if they go to a network, that's brand new and isn't compliant and doesn't know what they're doing, it's sort of going to give all of us a bad rap. That they, someone's just going out and doing this and no idea what they're doing, then someone who could have been very successful is shying away because they had a bad, experience. And also advertisers, if they get with, say this new affiliate network gets with a big advertiser and they mess that up because they aren't compliant or whatever the issue is, it's going to shy that advertiser away from affiliate networks as well.
All right, great. I mean, this has been really good discussion. I think we have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions if anyone wants to put something out there. They're ready for the drinks. All right, so are we moving into a break period and closing remarks?
Closing remarks. yeah.
Okay.
Well, would you join me in a round of applause for this great panel? Thank you. And Jeremy, we'll be looking on the blog tonight to see who won, okay? And you better be very unbiased.
All right.
All right, we have better distribution than you.
Okay.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for being attentive and putting up with some of it. You know, gets into a little bit of a battle up here, and I want to make sure we answered your questions. But more importantly, we really mean it when we say we're available throughout the conference and after the conference. Some questions come up. Make sure you text us. But anyway, or send us an email or come talk to us. But we want to answer your questions, and it's not just these 2 days, but obviously one-on-one is always great. So don't hesitate to ask a question, and we'll try to find you an answer. So from here, I believe, Tom, we have our opening reception at 5:30, and is it right outside the doors here? Right outside the doors, and I can tell you this: don't eat between now and then, because the food just keeps coming and coming. And I heard a mention of some alcoholic beverages, so I don't know if there's any truth to that. But anyway, thank you, and we'll see you at 5:30.